You know, there's no getting around it that those 5 tools are a considerable investment, expensive. Not all of you, not everyone, is in a position to spend money on things like that, but you still need to get some work done. You still need the basic essentials to get your shop going, to do the things you need to do. So I'm going to show you, we'll do over the five things, some ideas that you can put the same thing together and without spending a lot of money on it. Also, I want to be really careful and have an eye on these things that we're going to purchase are not going to be redundant. In other words, we're not going to throw money away on something that we're ultimately going to have to replace when we upgrade that aren't going to do us any good. We're going to try to really use things that we are going to need anyway, that we can just simply move them into a different role. I remember back in the days when I was a poor, destitute rambler sharing roommates and really crummy apartments. I wouldn't want to go back to that. But I had motorcycles and I had different things and I had crummy old cars that needed a lot of work and I needed a shop. So I would usually rent or find or beg or borrow a single car garage and set up my shop. And since I was moving around all the time and was in a new place every 6 months, it had to be something that was really modular that I could take with me and that wasn't too big and too bulky. So what I came up with for a workbench was simply using some really good quality sawhorses. Now these sawhorses here are made by the Trojan Company, and when I purchased these, they were built in Washington State, and they are the toughest, finest sawhorses that I think that they're still the best they are. They still make them today, the same specs. They're no longer made in the States, they're made in China. But these things, I remember when I purchased them, they were so expensive. I just balked at it, but they were, the thing with it is this, is that was 30 years ago, or 25 years ago, and here we have them still here today. Still as good as they were. And so, you know, that's the rub. You can get away with some wooden sawhorses, that would be fine, but if you purchase these, I've seen these things with 2 units of lumber stacked on them. 2 units, just 2 sawhorses, that's how strong they are. They're totally adjustable, they clamp and they pinch on to the 2x6, 2x8, you can adjust the height, whatever you want, you can make them as long as you want, but what a great platform for a workbench, and they're very, very strong. I'm going to put these things in my Amazon store at wranglerstar.com. Wranglermart.com if you want to take a look at them, but these are made by Trojan and they are absolutely, you'll have them for life. But how about that for a workbench? What do we got here? We can put a couple of 2x6s, 2x8s would be better. We can make our workbench as long as we want, and if we screw all that together, and it will be bomber. So what about a vise? Well, let's say we don't have money for a vise. Well, I got by a long time, and still do all the time, on a good pair of these wide mouth vise grips. You can find these at used tool shops. They're not very expensive, brand new. At Home Depot, get the biggest ones you can, but you can use that to clamp lots of things. You know, here we got our X clamp right there, and it's something that you'll use, especially if you get into fabricating and welding, a wonderful tool. Another thing that you can get at garage sales, this is another classic dollar item, maybe $3 or $4, is a big C-clamp. That's about a 6-7 inch C-clamp right there. You can clamp and do all sorts of things and hold material down, and it's really versatile. You can hold it sideways here, you can clamp this way, you can clamp this way, you have the different 90-degree axis there. It gives you a lot of options, and you're not buying and wasting money on something you're going to throw away. And minimal cost. If you can find yourself an old chunk of railroad tie, blacksmiths, they're some of the most talented blacksmiths in the world, use nothing more than this. They don't have fancy forged anvils, but you go look in third world countries and they're really talented, and they get by. They make all sorts of things. Having a chunk of railroad tie, this is a good combination. Of course, I'm going to have more 2x on there, but you get the idea. This is a great common man's option for a bench and vise. If you don't want to invest the money in a floor jack and jack stands, a great alternative is a good American-made bottle jack. This bottle jack right here will lift 8 tons. This one here, this one garage sale $5, this one garage sale $2. This one will lift 12 tons. That's 24,000 pounds this thing will lift. And you don't need jack stands. Think you can lift your car with that? Yeah, you bet you can. How about just a couple of chunks of wood? Some big 4x, big 6x material. Go by lumber yards. You can get the ends that they cut off of glue lambs. You can go by construction sites. You can get the ends cut off of big header material. They'll just give them to you. And stack those things up, and they work just fine. Super versatile. You can do a million different things with these jacks. You could jack up your deck if it's unlevel. You can jack up your truck. You can jack up and move things. It's just, you can imagine what the pioneers that crossed the Oregon Trail could have done with something like this. They didn't, I mean, it would have made their life so much nicer. But a good USA used bottle jacks, they're a dime a dozen at garage sales, and they're an essential tool to have in your shop. I'm a really big fan of skill saws. I think that they are probably the most versatile tool of anything that I own. With this one tool right here, the skill saw, you can build a whole house. You can do everything that you need to do. You can cut sheet goods, you can cut 2x, you can rip, you can cross cut. You can do essentially anything with one of these. And they've been making them for a long time, and there's a lot of them out there. You can find these, I have seen these at garage sales that needed a new cord on them or some minor thing for $20. Buy one, buy two. The skill saw is my favorite. I like them. I don't know that they're necessarily the best. I think they are. I'm a bit of a homer, so I really like them because I've used some of the other ones and I don't like them as well. I bought this Makita brand new, and this really can't compare to the skill saw. There's just so many years of experience built into them, but they're all great. I mean, we're splitting hairs here. Whether you go with the DeWalt's or you go with the Milwaukee's or the Skills or the Makitas, any one of those that you get that's a quality tool is this. You can do just about everything you need to do on a table saw. Not quite as easy, not quite as square, but you can get it done. You'd be surprised. If you don't own one of these, this is going to definitely be number 4. And then off to the final, number 5. So how do we find something that will do the same work as a Balder bench grinder, but for less money? I think I know just the thing. 4-inch electric grinder. Used, of course. eBay, Craigslist, wherever. You can do, actually, if I had to choose between these two and the bench grinder, I'd rather have these two. Because they do the same thing, and you can clamp these in your vise. You can clamp them onto using your clamp and use them the same way. I'm showing you 2 here because I'm just showing you the 2 different options. You don't need to have 2, you can just get 1. This one here was just a cheap one in a garage sale that wasn't running, and I think I put some brushes or something in it and I got it going again. But you can use a regular 4-inch grinding blade, just like that, for cutting and grinding and sharpening and different tools. You can swap this out, take this off, and you can put a wire cut brush on there. And this is one of the things I use more than anything in the shop right here. This is the best thing for restoring tools and cleaning rust off of and taking paint off of. It's super versatile. But one of these, you can buy one of these, you can get these for 25, 30 bucks. The little blue Makitas like this are wonderful little tools. Clean them up, get yourself a grinding wheel and a cut brush, and you essentially have maybe what is even more versatile and more useful than the bench grinder. So what do you think? You think that's a complete list? I know everyone's going to have their own opinions on this. It was really fun reading through all of your comments. There was a lot of hand tools in there, and I think maybe I didn't make it clear what the original intent was. I didn't want to talk about hand tools so much, as important as they are, like a cordless drill. Yeah, come on. I mean, it'd be hard to get through life without a good cordless drill. But we're talking about more bigger shop tools. Those other ones are kind of a well, it's just a different category altogether. I was thinking as I was putting these things together, especially on the Common Man set here, it would be fun for you guys to suggest some sort of a complex projects that didn't take too long that we could do using these tools, where it really stretched them to their limitations to see actually how well it worked. You know, in theory is one thing, but the practical world is another one. So in the comments, if you can think of something like that, it would be fun to do. It'd be a fun project to be able to see if we could do that. What else was there? We did manly manners on the last episode, so I'll feature at the end of this video, I did it. If you guys have, I've gotten so many projects that you've completed that you're really proud of, you'd like to share, go to my Facebook page at Wranglerstar 1. There's a link to it on my channel banner as well. And you could submit those pictures, and I'll choose, you maybe even choose yours to feature on the I Did It segment, where I'll show on the channel projects that you've completed and that you're proud of. So I always enjoy doing that. All right, on to the I Did It section. Actually, we don't have an I Did It here. We've got a What Is It? Barbara Chester sent it a picture of a strange tool. I've never seen anything like it. Does anyone know what that is. I don't. Dane Barton has got a this is my favorite, Dane. I love this the use of old gloves for sheath. Actually, there's the front and the back. I think I've got stacks of those things with the fingers worn out. I always hate throwing them away. Now I know what to do for them. I'm going to make a sheath. So we've got Jacob Larson has restored a beautiful spoke shave. Actually, I have a couple just like that. Nice job on that. Really pretty. And finally, we've got Rob Pratton. I did it. He got his red card. Congratulations, Rob, on that. That's what they look like. You know, they used to be red. They're not anymore. I don't know why. That's why they call them red cards, but my first one was red. Now they're white, but good job on that. So if you would like to have your I Did It or What Is It featured in future videos, you can submit those to the my Facebook page. Go to my channel page. Up on the banner is a direct link, or down the subject of any of my videos will be there, and you can leave that photo, and maybe you can be in the I Did It section. So thanks for watching. Click the thumbs up if you haven't already, and really appreciate it. We'll see you guys on the next video.